Hi, I'm Pamela,
Hi, I'm Ian.
and we're just going to talk to you a bit about our journey to having our son Patrick, who's going to be coming up for 2. We had him using donor embryos in 2018. It was quite a hard journey to get there. We met when I was 18 and Ian was 21, and we tried to get pregnant for 18 years, having 8 miscarriages and 1 ectopic pregnancy. Every time we had a miscarriage, it was a huge disappointment. I know for me, I felt like I was just not good enough, and that a woman should be able to have a baby, but it just never seemed to work. I don't know how you felt.
I had no feelings to the miscarriages. I just thought we would just keep trying, and eventually we would get to the point to where we are, where we've got Patrick now.
But it must have upset you though.
It didn't, but I just wanted to keep trying.
And so, well, we went for 18 years trying. We had fertility treatment from when I was 26, and we had 2 rounds of IVF through the NHS. They both, well, one of them failed, one of them worked, but then I had a miscarriage with that. The 3rd time we went private and used our embryos we had left over from one of the treatments and had a frozen embryo transfer, but that failed as well. So by the time 2018 came, we had tried every avenue possible, every test, every scan that was possible to try and find out what was causing the problem, but we never found the issue. And then Ian and myself looked into treatment abroad. We discovered that Prague done donor embryo treatment. So we contacted the clinic and talked to a patient coordinator, and then she arranged an appointment for a doctor to call us. And the doctor called and asked us how we felt about using donor embryos, because every other time I'd had a miscarriage and maybe it would make a difference. But how did you feel about using donor embryos?
I didn't have a problem with using donor embryos. As I seen it, it was just a way for us to have our first child. It didn't matter how we got it, as long as it was from us.
But did it matter that it wasn't your DNA that...
No, it didn't bother me at all. It wasn't my DNA or any blood relation to me at all.
I think we both looked at it as a modern way of adoption as well, because it wouldn't have both our DNA. So the plus side would be that I was able to carry the baby and then give birth. And I think you sort of supported me, because I felt a bit like, because I couldn't use my eggs, because the doctor had said that I have a syndrome called antiphospholipid syndrome, which means that your body attacks your own cells. So the doctor in Prague had advised using either donor eggs with Ian's sperm or donor embryos. And I felt like I wanted us to do a treatment with just donor embryos, so that there was no DNA from Ian or myself. And I think you agreed that that would probably be better mentally for us both, eh?
Well, it meant that we didn't look and say it was you or it was me. It would just mean that whatever came out of the outrun would be a baby that we would both love, which has happened.
Yeah, so we went over to Prague in 2018 and had no idea if it would work or not, because every other time we had just had heartache, and I know myself and Ian felt it as well. When you're around people that have got kids or have just had babies and they're talking about it, it makes you feel so depressed and so like you're not worthy of being a parent kind of thing, because your body's failed you. And Ian felt it with other men, like you wanted to be a dad, eh? And sometimes it was upsetting, because you were having to support me and have your feelings, and you didn't really show it as much.
You didn't really realise how much you want to be a dad until you're around other parents with kids, and then once you have your own kid, you realise all the emotions that you had been hiding, or the feelings that you wanted to have when you wanted to have a kid. And now that you've got a kid, you understand what that want feeling is.
So, obviously we were successful with the embryo donation treatment and found out that I was pregnant. But at the same time, we were worried if it was going to be a miscarriage again. And very early on I had quite a lot of bleeding for about up to 3 months. So we were really quite cautious and nervous and worried about it. You must have felt like that as well, because you had to keep strong and keep saying to me, it'll be alright, but you're thinking it's going to be a miscarriage again, eh? But it turned out that it was a hematoma, I think that's what it's called, and it was just bleeding under the amniotic sac. So as the months went on, it just completely stopped, and the more that we got scans, the more positive we felt. In the 16 weeks we found out it was about a little boy, and decided to call him Patrick. It was so exciting, but still, because we had so many miscarriages, we were worried right up until the last minute. And then I went in to be induced, and we had a caesarean because the induction didn't work. But how did you feel when you first saw Patrick?
Overwhelmed. It was just a whole new emotion brought into my life, and one where I instantly felt love.
And I think it seems quite unrealistic, because for 18 years we never ever thought we would have a kid, and then he's right there in front of you, which is absolutely amazing. He's a miracle. He still has tantrums because he's nearly 2, but he's just everything we could ever want. And it's being parents, even through donated embryos, although we know he's not our DNA, he is 100% our son, 100% like a daddy's boy, eh? he loves his daddy, and he just brings us joy, and we're so glad we've done it. And if you are thinking about donor treatment of any kind, please just do it, because you'll not regret it. It's worth taking a chance. If you are still going through your journey and having miscarriages, then we really feel for you, because we know what it's like, eh? It's the worst feeling ever. You just feel so alone, and nobody around you, unless they've had a miscarriage or a stillbirth or anything like that, know what you're going through, and they try so hard to make you feel better, but sometimes you feel so alone. So it's good to know that we've had a positive story, and hopefully you'll have a positive story as well at the end of it. But if you are trying, good luck to everybody. If you've had donor embryo treatment or any donor treatment and had a baby, then congratulations. Well, we just wanted to share our story, and that's about it now, eh? That's the story we have.